I've been flying for over 50 years and on various aircraft, and this is my 18th year flying the Lancaster. The Lancaster is unique. As most people know, there's only two on the planet that still fly, one in the RAF in Britain and our Lancaster that's based in the Canadian Warplane Heritage Museum in Hamilton, Ontario. And this year with the RCF 100th anniversary, we've got the privilege of bringing it across Western Canada for the first time since 2010. So we're glad to be here in Port au Prairie, part of the Manitoba Air Show, and let the folks of Manitoba have a look at a flying Lancaster for the first time in many years. The Lancaster was developed as the need for a heavier bomber than the bombers in existence at the time were made. So there was a number of competing aircraft that joined that competition, and all were successful, but the most successful was the Lancaster. It originally started off as a two-engine aircraft called the Manchester, but that engine wasn't particularly successful, so they extended the wingspan and used four Rolls-Royce Merlin engines, which is the same aircraft used in Spitfires and Hurricanes in the Battle of Britain and Mustang fighters later. But there's four big, powerful Merlins, which gave the aircraft the reliability and the range and performance it needed. If you look down in the center, you can see how long the bomb bay is in the Lancaster. That's a larger bomb bay than any other World War II bomber, right up to the B-29 at the end of the war. This allowed a huge flexibility in the kinds of armaments that it deployed. Everything from 250-pound bombs right up to a 22,000-pound deep-penetrating tall boy. It had a significant bomb load, much more than many of its contemporary heavy bombers. And in fact, had the B-29 project not gone through, there was consideration for using it to do the nuclear bombs attacks in Japan, because it was the only bomber with a suitable bomb bay for that. So that's a big feature of the aircraft. You'll notice also on the aircraft, on the front you've got two 303 guns, a bomb aimer's compartment, and we fly with a wreath in there to commemorate the thousands of airmen who did not come back from their participation. Okay, the wartime crew of a Lancaster bomber was generally seven. It'd be a pilot, a flight engineer, a bomb aimer and gunner who did both jobs up front, a navigator, a wireless operator, a mid-upper gunner, and a tail gunner. Occasionally there'd be an eighth. A brand new pilot to squadron might get a trip with an experienced pilot before taking his own crew up in a Lancaster, but generally seven. In post-war use, in maritime patrol, rescue, and mapping, it was always done with two pilots, plus the flight engineer, plus the navigator. And later on, the wireless operator was deleted as the radios became more advanced. In the museum, we generally fly with a crew of four operating crew people, and that's the two pilots, the flight engineer, the chief crewman, and then another crewman. We'll often take four passengers for trips near Hamilton, but when we deploy on the road like this, we bring along a spare flight engineer and a couple of maintenance individuals, and occasionally somebody who looks after a lot of the accounting and administration, but also is very helpful with the aircraft. Well, today we're privileged to fly with Tango, the F-18 Hornet demonstration pilot. When he finishes up, he'll join up with us and we'll do a couple of passes as a pair. And then we're going to do a little single ship there where people have a chance to see and hear the Lancaster itself, the sounds of its engines, look at it from the side, look at it from the top, and then watch us land and taxi in.